Hey, what's going on, you all? Welcome back to another video. So in this video, I'm going to be speaking about boundaries and how people will hate you whenever you start creating them. From childhood, we are groomed to be there for people. We are groomed to show up. We are groomed to lend a helping hand, to share, to care, to be someone's emotional support, to provide hugs, and just really be that best friend. But the thing is, there's nothing wrong with that if you create boundaries. When you don't have boundaries, there is everything wrong with that, because we're living in a world where people will take advantage of your kindness. People will spoil your good intentions, and people know who they can play with and who they cannot play with. Whenever I see someone who has a ton of friends, I already know they're giving something up, simply because I was one of those who had a lot of friends. And in each of my friendships, I had to give something up. If I had to give someone a ride to the store, that's the person that I became in their life. If I had to provide someone with emotional support, if I had to sit on the phone with someone and listen to them cry and offer good advice, that was the person that I became in their life. If I had to cash app someone money, that's who I became. Once someone asks you for something and you do it, little do you know that is the role that you will continue to play, because they know that you can do it. They know you are capable of it. They know you will deliver, and they will keep asking you for it. So if someone asks you to cash up them $5 and you do it, they're going to ask for 10 and then 20, and it's going to keep going up. So you have to create boundaries, even on social media, even in your personal life, even with your phone calls, even how you arrange your day, because once you lose time, you cannot get that back. So I'm going to go ahead and show you all a video, and then I will be back. We'll be back with more of the discussion.
My mother cannot call me before 10 a.m. And I have brothers like, you send it to a black mom? Yes, sir. And that's a boundary for me, because I love mama to the moon and back. But if I answer that phone before 10, I got to hear everything what's going on with my sister, what's going on with her husband, what's going on with the kids. And immediately it put me into performance mode, because I'm trying to fix it. Wow. And some of you are trying to fix things that you didn't break, and it's breaking you. Yeah. When I don't answer that phone, brothers, when I play ball, we used to get up in the morning, you turn on pot, whatever you trying to. At this season of my life, I got to ease into my day. I can't turn the TV on. I can't turn music on. I got to just ease and sit with myself. Because the moment you step out that door, you're hit with expectations, you're hit with what people feel, what they think about you, with the statistics, and you think about being in a place, in an environment that you are trying to achieve while sitting in the car, in the driveway, and not ready to go in the house. Hello? Because some of you are at home, but you're not at home. And some of you are in the house, and it doesn't feel like home. And how many of you brothers are married? Wow. And you think about the brothers that are married, and if you don't feel safe enough to take your cape off at home, brother, it's exhausting.
See, in the video you just saw, this man said he even had to set boundaries with his own mother, because sometimes your mother can be the very one who crosses your boundaries time and time and time again. Even though you may tell her certain things, moms seem to think they're special, so they will keep crossing your boundaries. So once again, I said, whenever you have someone who has a lot of friends, you're giving something up. And for those of you who want to say, oh no, not me, my friends aren't like that, that's more than likely not true. And the reason why it's not true, because even a really, really good friend, they're your friend because they're getting something out of you. That's how we are as people. We only like being around people that we can get things from, even if it's something very small. No one doesn't like being around anyone who is not an asset in some way in their life. So whether it's a phone call, whether it's $5, whether it's a ride to the store, whether they can get you to watch their kids for a couple of hours while they make a doctor's appointment, someone is getting something from you, even if it's small. And the thing that we have to realize about boundaries is that whenever you set them, whoever gets mad at you for setting them is the one who wanted to cross them. And I keep going back to that I'm special mentality, because you will tell someone that you don't like being called after 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. And the very first thing that they will do is sometimes joke around and say, well, that don't apply to me. You my friend, you my sister girl, that don't apply to me. It does apply to you. Stop thinking you're special. Stop thinking that when your friend sets a boundary, you're special enough that they will ignore you for their boundary. That's not being a good friend. And I've had a lot of people say that to me as well. Whenever I establish a boundary, one of the first things they will say is, that doesn't include me. Yes, it does. Why would you say that? Why would you say it doesn't include you? Would not you want me to be healthy? Wouldn't you want me to be mentally stable and sane and at peace? As a friend, you should want that for me. And here's what a lot of friends will do. They will actually tell you to create boundaries with other people, but they will violate them. They will actually tell you, girl, I wouldn't do her hair until she paid me up front. You should get you a deposit. But then when they want you to do their hair, they don't want to do that. They want to actually create rules for you that apply to other people that don't apply to them. So watch who you are around whenever you create boundaries and they start getting angry, or they start questioning your boundaries, or they start trying to figure out how many questions that they can ask you so they can breach that boundary. Because, for example, if you say, I don't want phone calls after 9 o'clock. If they start questioning you, well, what if it's really important? Well, I don't get off from work until 8. So, what if I call you right at 9? Well, what if it's on the weekend? Well, what? And then whenever they start saying, well, what about? They are going to be the ones who they don't want that particular boundary to apply to them. So learn it early. Learn it early. Whenever you start drawing a line in the sand, watch the people who like to play with it. Watch the people who like to kick it with their foot. Watch the people who like to joke about it. Watch the people who will show up and actually tell you, well, I know you said don't do this, or, I heard you when you said, don't show up at your house on the weekend, but I need to tell you something really important. And if you notice, whenever you give in and you say, well, come on in, whatever they had to tell you that they said was important, either wasn't important or it could have waited. And that was a scheme for them to be able to see how far you were willing to bend. Because if you let them in, then they're going to bend another rule. See, there's this concept of, if you give a mouse a cookie, and there's a book. If you all have not read that book, go read that book. It's a child's book. When the little boy gave the mouse a cookie, the mouse wanted milk, and then the mouse wanted to come in. People do that, and they do that by asking you questions to see where you're willing to bend. So especially if you're a woman, when you say something, people like to try to negotiate. It happens all the time, especially with women. People love to negotiate. What they're trying to do is find that fine line where they can get you to say yes. And that's the area that they will constantly play in and play in your face. And this is one of the reasons why my friend circle is very small. This is one of the few reasons why I don't do group chats and group texts, because when you do that, someone is always going to try to figure out who you are so they can figure out a way to get away with what they're doing that you don't like. Yes, even your friend. So that's all I wanted to come and say in this video. I will see you all in the next video. Take care.